Okay, it started.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I am happy to be with you three, and we're going to just hold space and know that some people will maybe be joining us or watching the replay. So, this is energy healing for anybody who watches us through all of time and space. And we can also just have the intention that whatever we do here tonight ripples out and has a much bigger impact than just for the three of us.
Okay.
So, um, So, as you know, the topic tonight is from moving from being triggered into true, deeper empowerment. And I have found myself um, that for much of my life, all of my early life, I was such a fiery fighter and on the mission for convincing people and justice, and just felt so passionately that I needed to convince everybody to my side. And then at some point that got really tiring and it didn't really work. And so I started learning about IFS, and that's internal family systems, working with our inner parts, and finding that actually, if I go to what's underneath the anger and the outrage and the convincing, that there is some deep, heartful lessons and healing that I needed. And as I've done that work, and then especially using energy work now, it's just moved everything faster. I still care about the world and have opinions, but I don't feel outraged nearly as often. It still sometimes happens, and I'm on the growing journey to let go of outrage. For me, outrage has just been a hook it's like a hamster wheel that spins, and I never really get anywhere, as opposed
Hmm.
to righteous anger that fuels me into taking action that feels meaningful, or grieving that allows my heart to break with the traumas and the pains that we see around us. And so that's kind of the inspiration for this meeting tonight, and to see what we all can do wherever we are, to move the needle some amount so that you can feel more free and empowered to be you, and however that, whatever way that is. I mean, for some people that might mean going to do more activist things, and for other people that might mean really detangling from that and feeling like you don't need to do anything with politics. So it's not, I have no agenda for what um, actions come out of this. That's really personal to you. But my hope is that all of us become more free, because then when we're free, internally free, then our actions, are anything we do, is fueled by more personal power, and that's the impact we need in the world. So that's my little spiel about my intention for tonight. And as you all know, Earl's going to help. And so, Earl, would you just say, so because we're going to put this out as a recording, would you be comfortable saying a few words about how we got to where we are and why you're joining the call tonight?
Okay. How we got to where we are, that I met her in Chicago, not personally, but on Zoom.
Yeah.
I was helping my daughter, my not my daughter, but my sister. But after I got back home, it wound up helping me more
Mm.
because I was able to get untangled with from the inside out. And so, and then I saw some things go down that the Lord showed me. He said, "You're supposed to be working with her." I
Mm.
said, "Okay." He said, "You're supposed to help her any way that you can." I said, "Okay." And so this is how we got to where we are. It was a divinely thing from the Lord.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll just say, I mean, Robin and Samantha, you probably know, Earl messaged me and said, I have messages from God for you. And I was like, and I was the same thing, like, okay. And then Earl shared some of his prayers with me, and I was like, you're doing light language. And that's, like in my world, the energy world, that's a way of accessing information and healing that goes beyond what we know verbally and through sounds that we know already. So every time we're together, Earl does some prayers, and I love it. Okay, so So the first thing I want to do, I think you all know this, but we're not going to be arguing about politics. We're going to mention politics as a way to get into some of the feelings. You may use something political. You don't have to use politics. It could be something else that triggers your heart or your feelings. But, I will mention a few things about politics, but we're not going to be arguing the content of politics. We're not going to convince each other of anything. It's just a tool to get into our feelings. And also, just to mention for anybody here or anybody watching that this is really not appropriate for somebody in crisis. So if you have been through a recent trauma and you're in an immediate crisis, I would encourage you to pause and, get some help first before doing a class like this. Okay. So the first thing I want to address energetically are the collective energies, because I find that the outrage builds a sort of thought form or a cloud form or energy form that if you get pulled into that in one way or another, it's really hard to decipher which feelings and thoughts are your own. And it's amplified. And the more people that are in it, it builds and strengthens. And then it's just harder to stay grounded. It's hard to find peace. It's hard to separate yourself from the chaos. So you all know how I work energetically. Do you want me to do any explanation before we go into the energy work? I think we're good. Yeah?
No.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So, and you also know everything is by consent. So if at any point you feel like you don't want a healing or a clearing or a prayer or it doesn't apply to you, you just internally say no thanks. And that's all you have to do to not receive it. And okay, so is it appropriate for me to pendulum test for our group here? It's me, Earl, Robin, and Samantha, and then there may be other people watching later, so we're holding space for those. I get a yes that there will be other people. Okay, and I'm pendulum testing for everybody here, and I just ask and command source to clear me of any bias, assumptions, mental beliefs, judgments, ego, desire, and attachment, so that everything is in the highest and best for everybody involved tonight. Thank you, and so it is. Okay, and are we experiencing, the group of us and the people watching later, are we, any of us experiencing some kind of effect from the collective energies? Yes, and can we release any amount of those? Yes, and do we need to know anything more about what they are? No. And shall we do that through releasing through a prayer? Yes. And shall we start with a prayer by Earl? Yes. Big yes. Or shall I do a prayer? No to my prayer. Yes to Earl's prayer. Mm-hmm. Okay. So Earl, how does that sound to you?
Okay.
Okay.
Media si halamania so hea shishabokiria, loia sishabokiria, kadia si, she hanomia totiala, kikaneno no ki si andrea, bealanan tikanania sikadia, rapalariga ki shimu, hia shishabu, andrea ku, hi shandanamia tokiala, shehamanaria ku rapaliasi, she hanononia ki kala, she karia koreatu, shenanenia ko kiria, rapia shishabokiria, raso siria shishabokiria, rapia shishabokiria kadiria, ratsko kananinia sishabokiria, ratsko kananamia sishabokiria, rasko kamamimia sishabu, andra pandanala makasi shibu tiria, rapia shishabokiria, he amania sishabokiria kadria su, shendiria si, amanina sishabokiria, rapatia sishabokiria kadria si, amania ko raski kadia si, amia kosibia si. And let it be so.
And let it be so. And we'll just take another moment to sense into that and feel how this collective energy might be affecting you. So do you perceive it as a cloud that surrounds you, or hooks that get into you, or Velcro that just wraps you up? And so having a visual or a felt sense and just tuning into that and noticing the effect of Earl's prayer separating you from that energy. And so now with our intentions, we're adding to that. We are separating from the collective energy, non-beneficial energies, the not helpful collective energies. And I'm feeling like my feet want to come to the floor to feel more grounded, but other people might feel like they're rising above, so you can look down on the chaos. You might also feel like you're just blowing it away, sending it away, dissolving it, however that works for you. I'm just breathing into that for a moment. And this is something we can all do when we remember to just say no thanks. Like if you feel like you're getting amplified or stirred up or agitated in some way, you can just say no thanks to the collective. You can say not today, go away, not available. And the power of our intention can do a lot of that work for us. And then just to say another word about Earl's light language. So people do watch these recordings afterwards. I usually send it out on my newsletter, and people will watch it. And so if this is your first experience hearing a light language, Earl is tuning in. Well, do you want to say what it feels like to you, Earl? How it comes to you?
Yeah, I'm tuning in to the highest form of me due to the fact that I'm already there on the other side and already experienced the higher form in love. And so due to the fact that I'm already there in a highest form, that I can look down where I am now and go through some of the things that I'm going through because I'm already experiencing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great. And so then the sounds are just beyond our alphabet, beyond our normal concepts of language, and coming from this higher place. So that's great. Okay, awesome. Any thoughts or comments about how you're noticing the collective energies? Do you need more attention here? Did you notice anything shift?
I know the shift in my heart. I saw a picture of my heart, and then I also saw a drainage of all the nasty stuff coming out.
Love that. That's a good one. I haven't thought of that before. That's so great. Yeah, so I'm just asking for all of us to receive that same. I mean, we already did energetically, but just applying that again, draining all the nasty, old, non-beneficial energies out of our heart. Thanks, Earl. Okay. All right, so we'll move on to the next thing. So, yeah, I don't know how you all are feeling. I just feel like every topic that comes up in politics, it's so polarized. And it's like either you're for something or you're really against it, or you're for this person or you're really against it. And you can name anything in politics, and it's like that, whether it's, Republican, Democrat, tax breaks or healthcare subsidies or open borders or no borders or guns or no, it's like everything is just so like there's not a lot of nuance in our media and social media, and it's aggressive. And I just perceive it as one side comes up with a fist and the other side is like, I'm going to meet you with that force. And so when we're coming from that level, then it just gets stuck and nothing really changes. And I think that's only benefiting the powers that be and the monetary interests to keep us fighting and stuck like that. And so as I've done my own healing work, I find that there's a space underneath that where this feels a little vulnerable to say it, but it's just like I'm meeting so many different people that have different opinions, and it's like I can learn so much from them, and I can hear with my heart open about a lot of different opinions and find agreement in a lot of different ways. And it's not just like one path is the right path and I have to stay in one lane. And it's just a much nicer way to live. So the invitation right now is that we will notice something that gets you agitated. Like, what is your weak spot that you might get hooked by? And we're going to do a little meditation to notice that. And then we're going to do a U-turn to notice what is underneath that. Because usually underneath that outrage or fighting energy is grief, powerlessness, desperation, panic. Like there can be any fear. And what we want to do is attend to those more vulnerable feelings. And that's where the change happens. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so if you feel comfortable, we'll take a few minutes to just kind of inwardly meditate and just kind of check with yourself and see if there's a topic that you'd like to explore in this way. And it doesn't have to be like the worst topic ever. It could be something that just like irritates you, or it could be a hot button issue, or it could be a person. So it doesn't have to be about politics necessarily. I do this all the time, or I did this a lot with people who just irritate me. So yeah, just take a couple of breaths and let your mind kind of relax and settle and wander and just see where it wants to settle for this moment and what's coming up. What would like help in you at this moment? Where would you like to feel more free? And because it's the three of us, if you have questions at any time or you want to slow down in any way, you can just let me know. If you need more time in any particular spot. And as you're settling on something, you can always change your mind too, of course. Just notice how that person, that concept, that political thing makes you feel. What's the usual thing that comes up for you when you feel into that? And inviting the sensations to show you more. So do you have thoughts that race or words or arguments that you want to share about this topic? Or do you have a physical sensation like something in your throat or your belly or your heart that gets hard or scared? Or do you want to run away? Or is there some kind of energy like you get the fight response or you get sleepy? And noticing your emotions. Are you mad, sad, scared? Just thanking those parts of you that go into their normal reaction when this thing comes up. And maybe you could just ask them, why do they do that? Is there something they'd like you to know about why? How are they trying to help you? I believe all of our parts are having a good intention. They're trying to help, trying to protect. And then just ask them, are they protecting something? Or is there something underneath that, such as fear or sadness or grief or powerlessness? And would it be okay to welcome those feelings? And if that's working for you, just really inviting in this new, deeper level. What's underneath the first layer? Maybe take a breath with it and soften and extend a welcome. You can even say, I see you, I hear you, I care about you. And ask it if it would like some help. Those feelings, if they would like some help, or maybe you see it as a part of you. Would that part of you like some help? And then coming back to our group together. Yeah, and would any of you like to share anything that you're noticing? It's up to you.
Yeah, I'm noticing that all over the place because there's politic in the church, politic in the government, and they seem like they're on the same level, and they shouldn't be on the same level.
Yeah,
There should be a difference somewhere.
yeah. Yeah, that's such a good observation because it's the same fighting, right?
Yeah.
And was there a feeling underneath that for you, Earl?
The only feeling that it's about doing the right things. I know I don't always do the right thing, but I know that that's the right thing to do is do the right thing even when it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. And so, like, maybe that's a weak spot, or not a weak spot, but just like a challenge area for you to do the right thing is if you're like involved in church politics, or has been a challenge area.
Yeah, sometimes it can be a challenge, especially when you don't have all the details.
Mm, mm, mhm. Yeah. Samantha and Robin, just checking in with you, seeing if you'd like to share anything.
Well, the word fear is coming up a lot.
Mm.
And fear of what? It's like fear of everything. It's like everything is being magnified. Um, a- I feel like a lot of what we're seeing is people operating out of fear.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Fear of not having enough power,
Mm-hmm.
fear of not having enough, just enough, fill in the blank.
Mm-hmm.
And but when we stay there, we've lost our humanity.
Yeah.
We really have. The fear just blocks. It blocks your heart, it blocks your
Mm-hmm.
mind. And I'll just go ahead and be blunt. It makes you do stupid things. It just does because you're operating out of. I'm not so much a fear as a bodily harm per se. It's more or less a fear of not being enough, not having enough, um, not holding a certain standard that we've probably all grown up with,
Mm-hmm.
that we've been told that we should try to achieve. And then when we don't achieve it, because we're so scared, because we haven't achieved it, I don't know, we have to blame somebody. And so just the whole thing about operating out of fear, I was thinking about what the Bible says about there's no fear in love. And so I think I got that right. Anyway, um, learning, well, not really learning, but just, yeah, fear. It was in my mind a lot. And I don't know if it was just my own dealing with my own stuff, or if it's just the fact that collectively right now in this present time, there's a lot of fear.
Mhm.
And people are feeding off of it. People are reacting off of it. They're making decisions based on it. Um,
Mhm.
and it's really hurting us. But I don't think a lot of us really know how to not be in that state. Yeah, and that's because I think if we knew how to not be in that state, we would be looking for that. We're not going to be able to find the answer, I think, in any one person or one movement or one party or one whatever. It goes back to the personal,
Mhm.
being able to deal with the fear that's within you. And a lot of us are, well, yeah, using the word fear. A lot of us are really scared to do that because we'd have to take responsibility. So yeah, that's what kept coming up over and over and over again was fear. And I kept thinking to myself, fear of what? Well, fear of
Mhm.
everything, fear of
Mhm.
systems, fear of lack of power, just all of that. And we don't, I think as a collective people here in this place really know what to do with that. And so then we make sometimes really bad decisions based on it. And we go to church and we hear what the message is, but we really don't know how to get there because nobody's really showed us how to get there.
Mhm.
It would probably mean spending time alone and asking your own self, what are you afraid of? We don't want to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. I love
Yeah.
everything you're saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just I just noticed fear kept coming over and over again. I go, oh gosh, what am I scared of? And it wasn't so much
Yeah.
myself, it was collectively
Yeah.
how everybody's feeding off of some sort of fear. And I think that's probably like right now why I like to watch videos of there's a guy on the internet who sings songs. He plays his guitar. He
Mhm.
sits outside in different reserves with animals.
Mm.
And no matter who, I think the first one I saw, he was singing and it was a rhinoceroses. And you know, those things are huge. And he's sitting on
Wow.
the other side of the fence and he has a really nice microphone and it's going out. And so one of the rhinos comes over to him over the fence, sniffs a little bit, and in the end, he lets him pet him. And that kind of thing really brought something, it's just a simplicity that we don't really have as much anymore because everybody's scared of something or another. But every time I watch one of his videos, I cry because I look at the
Mm.
simplicity. He could be scared, but he's just sitting there playing. The animals are just reacting to his spirit and to his music. And they come and they sniff him and they sniff the microphone and they just want to be near him. And I think about that and I say, he's doing that without any fear, because if he's scared, I don't see it.
Mm. Mm.
But it goes back to that him being still and just singing out of his heart, just singing a beautiful melody. And the animals always come. They always come and they just sit. The lion lays down on the other side of the fence. It's just really,
Mm.
really beautiful. And it made me thinking about being able to walk and live without any fear.
Maybe you can send me one of those videos after we're done.
Yeah, I gotta find him. I don't follow him, but he shows up in my algorithm at least 2, 3 times a day. So
Okay.
if I
Great.
do, if I
Yeah.
can, I will send you a link to him if I
Okay.
can. Okay.
Yeah, I think that after in a minute we'll do a little bit of work to address the fear because Earl, you also said do the right thing even if it's hard. And why is it hard? Because we're afraid, right? Like what's going to happen if we do the right thing and what's the fallout and all of that. So I think just what you're saying, Robin, fear is under so much of what's happening right now. And then we get easily hooked, easily manipulated.
Yeah.
Our energies are taken advantage of. And good intentions, really good intention people are manipulated then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Samantha, do you want to share anything? It's up to you.
Yeah, I can. Just a little bit. I'll say collectively and personally, I was feeling panic, picking up on panic. I feel like there's so much going on, and it feels like nothing nothing is getting done at the same time. And me, I feel like I've been forever changed since coming out of like multiple narcissists relationships with narcissists. I see it on every level now. So I get very apprehensive and or panic when I see any inkling of this you're gonna try and take advantage of me, or I'm gonna fall into a trap. And I feel like even collectively it feels like the same thing.
Yes. And like, who do you trust? And if this has happened to you before, it's like, well, how did you get tricked before? And what are the signs? And then you're like on defense all the time. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I also had a little bit come up. There's somebody that's sometimes in my life that has some narcissistic tendencies, and this person, they don't really have a hold on me in any way, but I just notice when I'm in the room with them, like it's hard for me to breathe. And for me, I feel stuck between this place of like, I feel like the good girl part of me comes up, like I'm not allowed to say what I really want to say, which is like, stop talking. We all need to have like everybody gets to talk. It's not just one person here. So it's like the good girl part of me, and something that feels so vulnerable. But then it also, we'll talk about this in a little bit. There is, I mean, all of us have some amount of like on a spectrum of narcissism. We all have parts that need attention and needed attention when we were little or in school or whatever and got overlooked. And so, so we all have like a little bit of narcissism in us. So when I'm with this person, it really brings that up of like, what about me? So anyways, that's not to take it off into that tangent right now, but relating to what you're saying, Samantha.
Yeah.
Just feeling the irony of you talking about narcissism, then I took it and talked about it. And so hopefully it didn't feel like I derailed your comment.
No, you're fine. No, it worked.
Okay. My intention was to add on to it, not derail. Okay, so yeah, and so that panic, I think you're right. And if so, Robin and Samantha, like I think we're all kind of on the same page of noticing different levels of it, and it's showing up in different ways. And so let's see, for our group, is it appropriate if we address a little bit of the fear and panic type energies that come up around a challenging situation? Yes. Okay. And do we need to know more information than that before we address it? No. And shall we start with a prayer from Earl for this one? No. Can I do a prayer clearing any fear that's ready to go? Okay. All right. So for all of us, asking and commanding our higher selves, God, Source, the archangels, to dissolve all fears, all energy of fear, panic, terror, anxiety, nervousness, and worry, and anything else same or similar that is in us, in our energy fields, past, present, future, infinite parallels, infinite dimensions, ancestrally, healing, releasing all of these energies, leveling them up. Oh, do these fears want to evolve in some way right now? Yes. And so just taking a moment with yourself and seeing if this fear energy is given the right support, what could it evolve into for you? Or what does it want to evolve into for you? And just knowing God and the archangels and your higher self is attending to you right now as we do this. And this is for anybody who watches later as well. And Earl, when you feel ready, I think you can help evolve our fears with a prayer when you take your time, whenever that feels right to you.
Okay. Here Shamalala Sishabu, here Shishabukadia, Hashimu Kia, Shamulula Kesi Shidia, Rapia to Si Alamia, Si, Hishendo Ki, Hishabukutula, Shendo Kika, Pitilo Kiati, Shahandulu Kikat Si, Oti Kat Sikadeko, Shishabu, Hokikeleta Tita Tapa. Tika rato didia shendo ti hishi kokekat rato ti didiato rapiti didia kuratski kidia raposi shitidia mendia karato didia mendia kadriato shandalama kikananiaski kadia lovia si shiboki kandria ko didia karya lovia kandia si shibokadia Ratudidia Sishaboki, Mandia Lasi, Shadia Koki Kati, He Amononayasi Kadia, Rapalaya Sishabokadia, Rapu Hia Shishaboki dia Titi dia, Ratu Lydia Kansi, Todidia, Mendia Kolidia Sishabokadia, Rapu Kininana Kiki Lati, India Sishabokidia, Rapaleria Sishabukidia Kadia Mendia Kosibia Tikidia Rapo Kininanamaka Sishabukidia Amandia Si, and let it be so.
And let it be so.
Thank you, Jesus.
I felt such an ache, like some lightning bolts in my heart with that. Thank you, Earl. Is there more for us to attend to with these fears at this time? Okay. Should we check the app and see what else we could address? Okay. Unless, is something in particular coming up for people?
Mm-mm.
All right. So what's coming up in the app is in my charts is offensive energies, which are just, people, either our own selves sending negative things our own way or from other people. So should we address from external people or should we address from our own selves? No, from other people. And can I do the easy button? Okay, asking that this quantum discernment is laser focused for our whole group here, everybody watching. Oh, collective vibration is what's coming up. I mean, that's what we're addressing. Okay. All right. Is there more we need to know about this? Just separating from the collective vibration of fear? Yes. And do we want to do this whole long prayer? No. Okay. Can I just do another prayer separating from the next layer of fear? Do we need to know more about these? Yeah, we need to know something more. Is there some kind of nefarious influence contributing to this? Yes. And so is that like amplifiers, seeds? Yeah. Okay. Is that true? It's like some seeds that get planted and amplifiers that amplify it. And are there other things we need to know about in particular? No. Okay. And shall I say the prayer for this? No. Shall Earl say the prayer? No. What should we do? Robin or Samantha, do you feel the spirit moving you to say a prayer? I get a no from the pendulum unless you're feeling the spirit move you. Okay. Okay, so is that we need more information? More information. Okay. Are these offensive energies coming from, do we need to know who they're coming from? No. Do we need to know more of the kinds of energies? No. Do we need to know more of the emotions that we're addressing? Yes. Okay, so it's fear. Oh, is it also things like hatred? Yes. Animosity, fighting, Aggression, yes. Okay. Aggression got the biggest one. Okay. And can we address all of those types of energies now? No. So is the main thing addressing aggression and fighting energy? Aggression, main thing to address aggression. What about polarization? No. What about fighting energy? No. What about fear? No. Okay. So aggression in the collective, yes. Okay. And now, are we ready for a prayer? Okay. And is it best to come from me right now? No. Is it best to come from Earl right now? Still no. Okay. Is there still something more we need to know? All right. And if any of you have an insight or something that pops in, I know you all are intuitive. So, what else would we need to know? Is it more than this lifetime? No. Is it ancestral? No. Is it part of our soul lines? Yes. Is that what we need to know? Like other times that we've been affected by negative collective vibrations on our souls? Yes. Okay. Do we need to know anything more specific about those souls? No. Now, are we ready for a prayer? Okay. And is this coming best that I do the prayer? Okay. I'll start, and shall Earl tag on afterwards? Okay. So I'll start, Earl, and then if you want to do one after me.
Okay.
Okay. Any other thoughts that came up for any of you? I have
Mhm.
collective vibration about aggression and this lifetime and other lifetimes where it's affected us. Do we need to know anything more about how that aggression, well, I mean, like when mobs have taken over, is that part of what's happened? Yeah. Where things did go to the worst? Yes. Okay. That's making more sense. And so then the fear comes up because we've lived through aggression that got really out of control. Okay. All right. So here we go. Connecting to your higher self, connecting to God, connecting to the archangels, and expanding our consciousness, asking God and Source and the archangels to dissolve all of these collective vibrations of aggression anytime that they've impacted us. Anytime on our soul line, any timeline that we've had, where collective vibrations, collective aggression has gotten ugly, anytime that's been the worst, anytime it's stirred up fear, and just bringing healing to those very primal fears that live in us, that remember on some level that things can get really ugly and can go really badly. So bringing all the healing energy to those deep, deep fears, dissolving the fears that live in us now, dissolving the fears throughout all of time and space, dissolving any hooks, any attachments, any manipulation energies from this aggression, from this collective vibration, in all realities in which we've existed, past, present, future, infinite parallels, infinite dimensions. Okay, and Earl, if you want to add.
Okay. The intentions that we see ourselves walking away from the fear and it's not harming us in any way. She kamenialo si ke si anrapatiato si he ki ka si kala mandialo kikadeato si mindia ko rapa le ka si ke rapi india shishabukadia rapalia sishabukadia mindia sishabu, and let it be so.
And so it is. Oh, that was such a nice relief inside of me. Anybody else notice anything?
I feel much lighter.
Yeah. Good. Okay, so let's quick do just a little bit more of a different exercise, and then we'll wrap things up for tonight. So the other exercise I wanted to introduce is the mirror exercise, and that is whatever drives you so crazy about this other person, this other situation, sometimes that lives in you. And so, like I was mentioning, there's this person who could be a narcissist, and she just like feels like she sucks all the air out of the room when I'm with her. And when I've done my best work on dealing with her, it's because I have that in me of like, I want to be the center of attention. I want it to be all about, I want to talk the whole time. Let me tell you all of my stories. And so when I've brought healing to that place in me, then it has made it better to be around her. It hasn't like totally solved the problem, but it has been, and then that helps the rest of my life too, because then that part isn't showing up and taking over and acting out with other people. So, and I have a couple other examples of, well, I mean, I work on this all the time with my husband. He is like the primary person that I practice this with. And anytime I get upset with him, there's often something legitimate to talk about. But then I also find, well, what is it in me that makes me feel so terribly upset about this? And so last night I was gone a bunch of the day, and my husband and son basically while I wasn't home, they were like watching TV the whole day. And I felt like nearly hysterical when I got home of just like, how are you doing this? And so after I did some meditation on it, and I talked to them about it and I shared, like, I think there were valid things to bring up to them. And part of why I was hysterical is I kept wanting to say, like, this is not reality. You're not living in reality if you're just on a screen the whole day. And so two things came up. One is like, I struggle with screen addiction especially if I'm having a hard time. I just want to check my phone all the time. And like today, I was nervous about this call, and I was like, let me keep looking on my phone. And that's not how I want to be. That I don't want to be interfacing on a screen all the time. And then the other level that came up is just that I really think that like we have this reality. There's 3D, there's people we interact with, but there's so much more than that. Connecting with God and the angels and the universe. And like, when I can tap into those levels of connection, like that's when I feel the best. My heart is so expansive. I understand things better. Life just gets better. So like, that's how I want to be. So this example from last night, like, was it terrible that they were on a screen all day long? Not really. Is this something to talk about? Yes. But the biggest thing for me is like, how can I use that so that I am in that expanded state of the levels of connection and not just believing this level of connection? Okay, that's my spiel. Did that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully I wasn't over explaining it. Okay, so let's do just a little bit of noticing. Again, just a very short meditation to notice how this might be coming up for you. So just taking some breaths and going inward, letting your mind and body show you a person, a situation. It could be bigger than, it could be politics, it could be church, it could be, anything. So just let your mind and body wander and see what comes up. How do you want to explore this mirror exercise? And it could be somebody that's just mildly annoying, or it could be something that's really challenging for you, whatever works for you. And letting yourself really notice how you feel when you think about this person, this situation, when you're in the presence of this situation. How does it make you feel, or what comes up? The feelings, the body sensations, if there's tension or nervous system stuff. Just welcoming all of it, if that feels possible, like saying, letting yourself know we're bringing help. So we're welcoming the discomfort in order to bring help. And what is it about this person or situation or expanded thing that really gets your goat? What about it really just drives you bonkers? And seeing if there's words that come to mind or an image or like a, like a little mind video that might play of a replay of something you've been through. And seeing if you can hone in what is like the kernel of the worst part of this. What inflames you the most about it? And then we're asking with a prayer for all of us to be shown, how does that live in you in some way? And it's very likely not exactly the same. So it doesn't have to be an exact match. But there's like an energy resonance of some way that external energy matches something in you. And it might go to a young part of you or might go to something you feel not very proud of, something you'd like to hide about yourself. And just seeing what comes up. And this can be challenging. Sometimes, people just say it just does not match, and that's fine. If it's not matching right now, that is a-okay. And with whatever came up, you can come back to our gathering, and it's up to you if you want to say something about it. It could be, you could share what you noticed, or it could be whether you like the exercise or not, or anything if you want to share. Go right into energy work with this. No. Okay. Yeah, and maybe, I don't know, does it feel too personal to share?
No,
Or is it
Oh
get,
yeah.
go ahead.
Robin says, oh yeah.
Well, I'll bring it up. My husband and my daughter are aware of a situation that I have with my sister-in-law. And this was my brother's wife. And it hasn't been an easy relationship for me. And I keep trying to ask myself why. And it has a whole lot to do with maybe control and maybe she keeps trying to make me her big sister. I guess that's it. And I don't want to be her big sister died a year and a half ago. And I'm very sympathetic towards that. We lost a daughter 2 years ago. I mean, so I'm sympathetic, but I don't want to be anybody's big sister.
Yeah.
And I've only grown up with a brother, no sisters, and she keeps trying to. I feel like she keeps trying to put me in a position where her older sister was, and it's very hard to fight against that. There's a part of me that's very sympathetic to her position, but to be honest with you, she's annoying as heck. But yet there's a part of me that's feeling sorry for her, and I'm sympathetic and I'm empathetic, and sometimes I just don't know when to cut people off. And so my husband and my daughter are aware of a situation that just recently happened, and I just will not answer her phone calls right now because I had to put up boundaries, and she kept crossing them. And so and I can't believe that's what was coming up. And I was like, oh God, I dealt with this already. That there's always that part of me that in my feelings of empathy and sympathy, I tend to go overboard. And I don't want to do that anymore. I want to be able to be healthy and not based on just feeling sorry for someone, because I don't think that helps me or the other person. Right. So yeah, that's what came up, and I can't believe that's what came up out of all the stuff.
So Robin, did you notice any kind of frequency match of what she does? So like, I mean, that sounds like a challenging person. And what I find is, the person or situation we're dealing with is like way worse than what's in you. But if you can find the match of something in you, that's going to liberate and free something in you.
Well, there's a loneliness sort of component there. And I get that. And that might be why I didn't mind reaching out. And so I think about that part when I say about the empathy and the sympathy. A lot of it has to do with loneliness and being in a position where you've lost people that you've grown up with. My brother's gone. And someone I feel like is plugging into me, but doing it rather quickly. And I move slow. And so I'm thinking about that, and I'm thinking, well, why is this still bothering me? It's probably still bothering me because there's a part of me that has difficulty reaching out to people when I'm lonely or when I need to talk to someone. I tend to pull back, I was spoiled by my best friend. I mean, you mentioned about me being psychic. She was kind of the same way. So if I just pick up the phone and say hello, she could tell from my hello that something was wrong, just like I could tell with her hello, something was wrong. And so when you have that kind of relationship with someone that you're plugged into like that, and then they transition, you're just kind of here. And so there's a part of me that probably understands the loneliness.
Right.
I see it.
Right.
And I want to be of a help, but I'm not necessarily the answer.
Yes.
So,
right.
Yeah. And I guess that's why I'm still struggling with it, because I don't want to be mean. People say I'm nice. I'm only nice to a point. I'm not nice all the time, but I don't want to be mean, but I'm not a replacement for her sister. And I'm not looking for a replacement for my best friend either.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I'm not, because there's no such thing. God made us in his own image, but we're all individual and we're all special. So when that light leaves this particular part of this, where you want to call it the matrix or whatever, when that light leaves, that light exists somewhere else, and it's in our hearts, but they're just no longer here. And so I'm not looking for a replacement for that light, because there is no replacement for that light. And so that's what I struggle with. I just want to be friendly. I don't want to be a replacement.
Yeah.
I don't believe in replacements. I don't believe in replacements. This is the first time it's actually come up like this, because I can't, Samantha asked me, she says, well, you're not going to call her back? And I was like, I don't have plans on calling her back. No. And then I began to wonder, well, should I call her back? I mean, why am I making such a big deal out of this? And it's probably a lot to do with that loneliness component that
Right.
that I see in her that I know that is also in me, and
Mm-hmm.
that's part of the connection. But it can't just be about loneliness. It has to be something else. Um, it has to be something else for me. It can't just, I just can't let that be the only component. And the fact that she was married to my brother.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. And so that's was unfortunately, I didn't want that to be coming up, but that's what was coming up.
Okay.
So
Well,
yeah. Yeah.
well, thank you, Robin. We'll do a little prayer at the end to just bring whatever healing we can
Thank
to everybody and everything that came up. Thank you for
you.
sharing. Yeah. Earl and Samantha, do either of you want to share anything?
No.
Okay. Earl, how are you doing?
That's good.
Okay. Okay, well, why don't we is it appropriate for us to do a prayer to just bring the highest healing to everybody with whatever was noticed? Yes. Okay. And can I do that? Should I start that? Should Earl do that? Okay, Earl's going to do that if that's okay with you, Earl. So the intention, I think you can tell me what you think, but I think the intention I have in mind is that your higher selves, God knows what you need for this situation that came up doing this exercise,
Yeah.
and you can get your own personal healing directly to you for you. How's that for an intention?
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Everyone hold a space for your higher self, and your higher self will do the rest.
Mm.
Bia shishabati alamekti she hamanarea korea pia shishabukadia rapadia la nia sikadia sishabu andrapo kindalamakikania skiki shikala nia tisibia rapatidia ko shikamenala sihabukadia rapusi anonomake sikanania rapia shishabukadia karia skoki Shikamana nia sishabukiria rapaleria so kiria sishabu andrapia shishabukiria raskos kiribia shishabukiria raskos kiribia shishabukiria kuki mandia kuratiria sishabukiria raskos kiribia shishabukiria mendia kandria skos kiribia shishabukiria Rapo Kinkant Sikanaya Sichabu Rasko Skiria Shishabu Kiria Rapandia Sishabu Kiria Kariasko Kiria Mendia Karapukoski Shibu Endiria Karaponia Si Indiria Sishabu Kiria Kadria Mandiala Tikadia Pandia Sishabu Kiria. And let it be so.
Let it be so.
Amen.
Thank you, Earl.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we're going to bring this to a close. So maybe just take a moment to see how you are feeling, if there were particular triggers or topics that you came in with, and just see how they feel at this moment as we're wrapping things up. And sometimes when we do, as you all know, when we do healing work or energy work, sometimes it gets worse first. And so that's just the old energy coming up and out. So if you notice you have more feelings now or tonight or tomorrow, that's a great sign of healing. It's going to be leaving. But if, maybe you feel better already right now. I just noticed there's like a lot going on in my heart area. So I'm looking forward, Earl, you and I are going to do another class talking about the love inside and healing our heart space. Well, I'm thinking about it as our heart space. So that feels like right on target for me. And would any of you like to share any closing thoughts?
Okay, well, I would just say that I was a bit apprehensive at the beginning, but this has been really, really refreshing for me. Yeah.
Great.
And it's
Thanks,
helped a
Robin.
lot.
Good. Thank you. Glad to be a part of that. I think I'll stop the recording. Let's see.